Joint ventures, or what we often call as group marketing, are the fastest and the most profitable way to grow a business. However, to set up a joint venture, you would typically need to have what is known in the industry as a JV broker. In other words, someone who will manage and put the deal together. A joint venture broker will typically charge a retainer of anywhere from $30,000 to $100,000 upfront and 15% of what the JV partnerships produces. Frank Kern charges $100,000 upfront, 15% royalties, and in order to qualify, you must have at least 100,000 email subscribers and have a good reputation in your industry. He typically gets around $500,000 to put a joint venture together. My last job, I was hired as a business strategist, where we had funnels that did $100 million plus. Now, to put a project like this together, it still costs us $100,000. However, instead of working with just a few companies, charging them premium prices, we decided to divide the expenses up to give as many people as possible the opportunity to take advantage of this opportunity by working together as a team. We're going to start out by making sure you see and understand how joint ventures works. Then we're going to look at the math of reaching your income goal, because once you know how much you make per sale and what you have to do in order to make that sale, at that point, you understand the economics of reaching your goal. At this point, there will be no excuses for not having enough money. Next, we're going to look at why companies lose money and what you can do about it. And then finally, we're going to look at the proper way to invest in advertising to make anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 per day. Now, many brands got their start using joint ventures, like Bill Gates, who made his first $10 million using joint ventures. Other brands who consistently use joint ventures are Disney and McDonald's. These are just a couple of them. Now, Jeff Walker made no money for 6 years. Now, after 9 years, he made a total of $210,000. However, after using and understanding joint ventures, he did $3.5 million over a 35-hour period. Now, when we hear stories of someone doing a project like what Jeff Walker did, it may seem unbelievable to us at first. That is until we understand how the economics works. Imagine if Facebook decided to promote your offer to every one of their users. Even if a large portion of their user base would not take you up on your offer, we know that at least anywhere from at least 3 to 10% would. For those of you who offer services to businesses, Grant Cardone has a platform. And then if you demonstrate yourself, you will be invited to speak on his platform. Russell Brunson spoke at an event known as GrowthCon and closed $3 million in a 90-minute period. Brandon Dawson invested the money to attend one of Grant Cardone's events and approached Grant Cardone with an offer. Now, I did not take advantage of this, but even I have attended small events where I have had personal time with Grant Cardone, as you will see in this picture here. I'm in the back row. Now, Grant and Brandon came up with an agreement where Grant Cardone then endorsed Brandon throughout his entire community. So all that you have to do is find someone with a strong center of influence. If you run your business in a local community, who and or what are the businesses that have the biggest impact? We want to establish relationships with them where they will endorse you throughout their entire community. Now, I worked on a project with Al Nin, where we made a deal with his dentist. We reached out to several beauty salons, provided them with marketing material, which brought in 3,200 new patients in the first 90 days at an average of about $2,000 per patient, for a total of about $6.5 million over the next 12 months. Again, my last job, I was hired as a business strategist for a $400 million marketing firm, where I did as many as 60 sessions per week, at times working with executives from billion-dollar companies, where I saw a set of principles where people were starting off from zero or almost zero, and were able to build a $1 million enterprise in a 3 to 12 month period. Now, just like the TV show Undercover Billionaire, where in season 1, Glenn Stearns, and season 2, Grant Cardone was dropped off in the middle of nowhere with just $100, no contacts, just their skills, and built a $1 million enterprise in just 90 days. Now, over the next video series, we're going to look at what we call as the 90-day millionaire. Now, for some of you, this may be a review, but we encourage you to go through it anyways so you can map out your game plan and also have the assistance of our support team. So first of all, we're going to make sure you see and understand how joint ventures work. Then we're going to look at the math of reaching your income goal, because once you know how much you make per sale and what you have to do in order to make that sale, at that point, you understand the economics to reaching your goal. And at that point, you will not have any excuses for not having enough money. Then we're going to look at why companies lose money and what you can do about it. And then finally, the proper way to invest into advertising to make anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 per day. So I want to encourage you to move on to the next video series and finish setting up your system. But I had a blast recording this video for you today. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye now.